What do the locals in Bremerton know that newcomers don't? Be sure to stay tuned all the way till the end. What's up, everybody? It's Cassandra Lopez with the Living in Bremerton channel. If you're new to the channel, you're going to want to go ahead and subscribe. This channel is all about living in Bremerton. So whether you are moving here for the first time, or maybe you've been here for a while and just want to know more, be sure to subscribe. Tap that little bell so you're notified every time I drop a new video, and you can reach out to me directly. This is my cell phone and my email. Be sure to call, text, or email if there's anything I can do to support your relocation to Bremerton, Washington. So this video, we're going to talk about a couple of the little hidden gems in and around Bremerton, some of the little artsy stuff, some of the local stuff that you may not be totally aware of if you're new here for the first time. And the first one is the Bremerton Boardwalk. So the Bremerton Boardwalk is right near the ferry. It's right in downtown. And it's basically just kind of this wraparound path walkway at the Bremerton Marina. Not a lot going on there if you're just kind of strolling, but throughout the year, there are tons of festivals held there, like the Blackberry Festival, and all year round there's stuff going on. There's also people who actually live down there on the marina. It is also where the ferry terminals are. So if you're catching a ferry, you would kind of stroll around the boardwalk. There's a little sandwich shops and coffee shops. There's some higher end restaurants down there. Some higher end brand new apartments are down there. These high rise condos are down there. So it's just kind of a nice area to just kind of, everything's kind of quiet. It's right on the water. It's a lovely place for a stroll. Highly recommend if you have 10 or 15 minutes while you're waiting for the ferry. Another thing Bremerton has is a very thriving art scene. So you may not think of that when you think of Bremerton because we have this rich Navy heritage, right? But we also have this amazing art scene, from live action theaters to rustic, old, nostalgic motion picture theaters that only play like 80s movies. We have tons of museums, tons of puppet things, tons of local artists and fairs like the Bremerton Mercantile. We have a live action kids theater out in the middle of the woods in Bremerton. There are paint and sips, there are barcades, there are game rooms. There are all kinds of things going on that may be a shift from what you might think Bremerton used to be, which was this completely industrial side of town. Now it's like half Navy, half artsy. Another thing Bremerton has going for it is the ferry systems. So we have a couple of different systems. One is the Washington State Ferry. So these are the large boats. These are the boats that take a long time to cross, about an hour. These are the boats that carry on hundreds of cars. You can drive over to Seattle if you want. And we also have the Kitsap Transit Fast Ferry. So these are walk-on only. They're commuter hours. Typically they recommend a reservation because they are smaller and they can fill up quickly. They run Monday through Friday. In the summertime, they add a Saturday sailing schedule as well. These boats can accommodate a few bicycles and scooters and things, but for the most part it's walk-on, and these routes take about 35 minutes to get to Seattle, so just about half the time as the larger boats. Two different systems though. One is Washington State DOT, one's Kitsap Transit, two different municipalities. We also have Washington State DOT ferries in Southworth and Bainbridge Island and Kingston, and those all take you to the east side. And then Southworth and Kingston also have the fast boats, and I want to say Bainbridge might as well. I will say that recently the state ferry system, specifically Bremerton, has had a slew of mechanical issues regarding their boats. And so the boats they have in service are now out of service, being monitored and repaired. And so Bremerton's had to borrow boats from other routes. So we've had to borrow one from Bainbridge, and I believe we just borrowed one from Kingston. But what that did is that really minimized the number of sailings and the reliability of that ferry. So if you have plans to go to Seattle on any given day or time, you can sign up for alerts on the ferry system on what's going on with sailings, if they're running behind, et cetera, or you can just go to their website to proactively search for the alerts. But these will tell you, if the sailing is running on time or what have you. So a much more reliable alternative as of late has been the fast ferry. So if you don't need to take your car, that might be a really, really good, acceptable option for you. And as I mentioned before, we are a town rich in Navy heritage. So if you have not heard of Bremerton, or maybe you just heard of Bremerton and you're looking it up, it's likely because maybe you got a job here, or maybe you are joining the Navy, or maybe you got stationed here, or something like that. And so I will tell you that the Puget Sound Naval Shipyard is alive and well, and it employs, the shipyard combined with the Bangor Civil Service is the largest employer in the area. It is a huge part of our history, our culture, and our economy. And the Puget Sound Naval Shipyard in Bremerton is the only nuke refit facility on the West Coast, and so it's not going anywhere. There are various historical artifacts just kind of placed around town, like old anchors or old sails or old guns or whatever, just posted around town, just to remind everybody as they're walking and driving around that we are a Navy town. We do have several museums. There's the Puget Sound Naval Museum right there in downtown Bremerton by the ferry. There is the Undersea Naval Museum up in Keyport. So that's really cool. You do not need base access for either of those. So if you're a civilian, you can help yourself and go check out those at your leisure as well. And if you are one of those people who loves to get involved with your community and participate in lots of events, we have the Blackberry Festival, we have the Armed Forces Day Parade, we have sports watch parties at local bars for Seattle sports teams. We have all kinds of stuff that you can do, literally never a shortage. There's stuff going on pretty much every night of the week, every day of the week. So just check your local area events calendar and you should be able to find something that works for you. So if you like that video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, tap that little bell so you're notified every time I drop a new video. Feel free to reach out to me directly. You can call, text, or email, and I'll be sure to respond. And if there's any kind of video topics you would like to see in future videos, please put it in the comments. Bye for now.